to Momentum in Real Estate, your guide to success in the dynamic world of real estate. I'm Corey Wall.
And I'm Kristen James. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, we're here to help you reach new heights.
Success in real estate comes from learning, growing, and serving others.
Join us as we dive into strategies for lead generation, marketing, market trends, and client relationships.
Get ready to ignite your momentum and achieve your goals in real estate.
Let's dive in and unlock your full potential.
This is Momentum in Real Estate.
Well, get ready to be inspired by a true trailblazer in the real estate world. Since 2009, Paulena Gross has been shaking up the industry with her unstoppable drive and unwavering commitment to excellence. From rising to the top ranks at Keller Williams to establishing her own brokerage in Louisiana, Paulena's journey is a testament to the power of determination and resilience. Despite facing adversity, including a massive stroke in 2018, Paulena's spirit remains unbroken as she continues to make a positive impact in the lives of others through real estate. As a mother of four, her dedication to family and career is truly commendable, and her ability to connect with people on a profound level sets her apart as a true industry leader. Get ready to be inspired by Paulena's remarkable journey and unwavering commitment to success. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, Paulina. So first question, tell us about your real estate career, how you got started. Just share your story.
Okay. How it got started, a PTA meeting. And one of the PTA moms said, I just had a closing. And I was like, oh, really? How does that work? And she's like, this is how much I made. And I was like, I'm going to do that too.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Little did I know, I researched it completely backwards. I was like doing the math wrong. 6%. I was like, oh, 6% of this. I didn't realize, I didn't know. And so it was like 2:00 in the morning. I'm looking it up and I woke up my then husband and I was like, I'm going to get my real estate license. And 2 weeks later, I had my real estate license and I interviewed every company that there was in my town, unless the ones that wouldn't call me back because I figured they weren't interested. And so I joined my company and became one of the top 3 agents in the first 6 months. And it's because I didn't know better. I didn't know any better. It was 2009. Everyone I told that I had got my real estate license was like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, why are you saying sorry? Like, I didn't understand. I didn't understand what all of this. And so I got my first listing in 10 days, sold it immediately with an open house. The guy that walked in the open house was an agent from another area and was like, if I buy this house, will you pay me? I'm not in your MLS. And I was like, of course. And so he bought the house, he and his wife. He still lives there. I brought him on to my company. So he worked with me for years and years. He's still a very, very good friend. And it just really took off. I do have, similar to Corey, I was born and raised in this area. And I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years. I was going to be an elementary school teacher. And once the 4th child came along, I was like, I have a full classroom at my house. So I am going to really shift gears so that I don't come home as a carcass for them. I wanted them to truly have mom when she got home. Now we're realtors, so we know that there was plenty of phone conversations in the car with me telling them I'm on the phone with a client. However, it was amazing and they got to see me really shine for I went from 2009 and then I took the team leader position that they offered me in 2011. So I did some training for the office and stuff. I'm very learning based. I really love to teach and I love to learn. And so I was like, of course, that's my dream position. So I went into that position and then I decided I wanted to go back into selling. I missed my people. And so I started a team in 2014 and we grew fast and it was amazing. It was beautiful. There was 4 of us. At the time, I had an admin, a transaction coordinator, I had a buyer's agent, I was a listing agent. And I decided it kind of made more sense for me to have my own brokerage at that point financially. And I was really carrying my own. I wasn't having to use any resources to lead generate besides my own database. And so those women came with me and we started a brokerage at the end of 2017, storefront, everything so exciting. And then I woke up in February of 2018, paralyzed from the stroke. So I was out of the business since then until June of this year of 2023.
Wow.
So I lost my broker's license. I let it go because I couldn't really talk or do things. It wasn't worth trying to ask my family members to help me keep it alive, keep it going. So I let my broker's license go. I let my salesperson license go. And then last year in 2023, I had a run into with someone and it just was like, okay, I think it's time. I think you've been healing for 6 years and doing all this work, this work on myself, on my life, on my expectations, on my goals. And then I decided to go back into and took an area leader position with this new company and have just been enjoying myself. I am in sales, but I also have people that I train and take care of as well in my position.
Wow, what an inspiring story. I've got goosebumps all
I
over my
know.
body. I'm sure there is so much more we could dig into that because that's incredible. I know that was a journey, and I'm so glad you're here and healthy and all the things. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Me too. I'm very happy to be here. You know, when I had my team, I was very, very purposeful. We had we had a Santa breakfast the last year. So, like, speaking about things that are special to me, what I did is relationships. That's all that matters to me. So, I really don't care about money. I care about relationships and the way that people feel when they're done working with me, having a conversation with me, any of the above. And so what I did was, because my children were small, I was at baseball games, all of these events all the time where I was surrounded by parents and children. And so I knew that was my audience. And so I tapped into that and we had Santa breakfast. My last one we had, the 4th year in a row that we had it, was 500 attendees.
Wow.
So we rented out we had to rent out an entire wedding venue. I operated on a next to nothing budget. I got everything donated, everything, sponsors. One of my employees had a photography background, so everyone got a professional picture with Santa. We had a real Santa with a real beard, like we had the real deal. So everyone, and I would stay up till, I don't even want to tell you when, editing those pictures so that everyone had a picture they could post the next day. And then Facebook would be flooded with the pictures. I never branded them or anything like that. It was just a gift to the people who wanted to come.
Yeah.
And so we had activities and all of these things. And then we did a balloon release for one of my clients who had a baby who passed the year before at the last one. So we did that too. So it's just like a great community event that we would do. And I mean, we had to rent out an entire wedding venue because we had just outgrown every space we had been to. And there's pictures of it that I look back on, and I will eventually go back to doing that. But I suggest it for people. I'm like, do this, call your people.
Yeah.
One of my other special things that I like to do is birthdays. They're very important to me. My mom made it a very big deal. Not everyone does, but for me, it was a big deal, and I made it a very big deal for my children. So people in my life get a big deal. And so I was trying to find out a way to financially give everyone a birthday card, but like not just spend money on postage and then they get a birthday card. I wanted there to be something with it. So when I was at a real estate conference, someone had suggested this idea, and I was like, I'm going home and implementing it immediately, and I did. So we had a local bakery who had just opened, called her up. I was like, I know you're new. I know you're just starting in this, and I like your stuff. Like, it's adorable. And the name is Sugar Love. Like, it's so cute. She like looks like something off of, the Food Network, the way she has all of her branding and stuff. And I asked her if she'd be willing to do a cupcake for my clients if I got them in the door, and then she could invoice me at the end of the month. And so every client, every child of every client would get a postcard, and postcards are cheaper to mail than regular mail. So we printed it on postcards. It on the one side would have was my entire team holding happy birthday balloons. We went and did a photography thing, and it said happy birthday from Paulena Gross Realty Group. And then on the other side, it said claim your free cupcake at Sugar Love. And then we gave them like 60 or 90 days. We gave them plenty of time. And honestly, if they went, whenever they went, they went.
Mm-hmm.
And so the beauty of that was they posted it on social media. They put it on their refrigerator for when it was time to go get their cupcake. And their children, they would take a picture at the bakery when they were holding their cupcake. So it was like beautiful to see them enjoying it. And also it was very, very inexpensive advertising, because a lot of people get the coupon in the mail and they are happy about the coupon and they feel like they got a cupcake.
Right.
They didn't even go to the bakery.
Even if they never redeem it.
Never redeem it. And at the end of the month, I would touch base with her and she'd be like, oh, I don't know. It's like $15, $20. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd write her for a little bit extra. But it was one of the cheapest expenses.
That's awesome.
Impact. So I'm like, everyone do it. Just everyone do it. There's enough business for everyone and we don't all have the same clients. So everybody implement this. It's great.
Absolutely. Well, that you're speaking our language, because Corey and I love, well, two things. One, we love events. So we do our own events with Sphere and Neighbors and you name it. So the Santa breakfast is like right up our alley. And then we love to like shower love on our people too. So birthdays, acknowledging just important events in their life. And because we value relationships like above all else. So we know that's the lifeline of our business is relationships. So I love it. Like there's so much in sync with what you're sharing. That's awesome.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. So ideally I would love to have 4 events a year. I'm being realistic with it right now, as I'm in a role of leadership as well as selling. So I have to monitor my time and my abilities. Some of my abilities have changed since I've had 2 strokes, actually. I had one in 2018 and one in 2020. I've been in the hospital a lot more than I'd like to say. And however, it gives you a new way of looking at life and the people around you and the choices that you make. So it took a long time to get here, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And it will continue to shape who I am and who my children are and who the people around me are. I've been able to be hope for people who have been hopeless. I had migraines for 7 years before my stroke. And they were debilitating and no one knew what was causing it. It was probably stress, I'm not sure. But it's really given me an open door to speak to people who have every different type of medical condition that they're battling or that they're trying to not show that they're battling. So I look like I'm talking fine, but the brain does not work the same way once it's been, hit twice.
Yeah.
But I've learned to work inside of those. My new Paulina 2.0 is what we call her.
Well, I love it because you have such a powerful story and it just makes you all the more relatable. Like I'm sure that you fostered incredible relationships before it. And this has just kind of given you another chapter that you can use to like have even more influence. And it's just incredible.
I'm so blessed. Who would have thought, like having that stroke and my mom having to feed me for a straight year in the bed and I couldn't speak in sentences. I was paralyzed on my left side, so I couldn't move, but then I did regain walking. But I do remember looking at my journal recently and seeing I took a shower with like 5 exclamation points. And that was because I hadn't stood up in like 2 years.
Wow.
So just the little victories have really brought me to exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. That's all I can say.
Whew, that's amazing.
So I've heard this. It was like a little video, and I can't remember. Kristen might be able to remember. I can't remember the author of the book that did this video, but basically the whole premise was, all these terrible things that can happen to people. You had a stroke twice. And he says, good, after everything he mentions, good. And because it does shape you, and you're just such a beautiful testament of that. So how do you think that has changed your business? Like, obviously the relationships and you being really present, but what could you, people that haven't maybe had such a traumatic event, what could you tell somebody that would really help them understand how you've changed your business?
Okay, so business wise, I didn't think I was going to ever come back, but I missed the people, right? And so someone was placed in front of me to have the conversation. And then I said, well, when I do something, or when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And so that's my favorite thing about myself, and also my not favorite thing about myself, because I will do it. I will sign up and I will do things. And so what I did is I just like dove back in and am really taking advantage of I'm getting in my DeLorean, just so you know, because 6 years of being out of the loop feels like 100.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm learning so much about the way the real estate industry has changed. But the fact that I got in it in 2009, when we were all trying to figure out, is the exact same market we're in. So I'm teaching the fundamentals that people got away from. That's what I'm focusing on, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
How many people are in your database? Are you touching base with them? Are you doing the things? Are you doing income producing activities? Are we doing income producing activities, or are we making YouTube or Facebook pages that look really pretty? So that's sorry. I'm very direct. I come from, but I am like that with my agents. I'll be like, put it down, walk away from it. And what I love about real estate is just like today I got a buyer referral, and the fact that I have the experience of pre, and then now I'm post, and I know how I operate now. And and technology, it's just been incredible. I'm just so excited to see what the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years has in store, because the market is going to continue to do what it always does, and we will continue to acclimate to it, because the buyer rep, all of the stuff, all of that stuff is going to come and go, but we're still going to be here. Some of us will.
We're okay if it flushes a few people out too.
It will. It will.
Yeah.
It will. The weak agents will, and even people who are not weak agents. I have some people who are not weak agents.
Yeah.
Who are choosing to do side gigs and stuff. And I'm like, if you put those hours towards this, I bet you could make this. So working on that. This year, my goal is to really just be self-sustaining. I've been dealing with a lot of help. I've had a lot of help for a long time. And now I am ready to be the help. And people talk about real estate as in sales, and I don't. Real estate, you're going to buy a house or sell a house regardless of if I'm there. You probably work with someone else or do it for sale by owner. I would prefer the person work with the best person that can represent them. And that is my value proposition to people. So I'm not trying to sell you anything you wouldn't already be selling. I just want to facilitate the best experience for you possible. So that's really what my real estate, vision is. And it's for my people to just feel loved on. Like for them to know that I know their kids' names. I know what's going on in their lives, and I pay attention. I do drop off gifts to the inner sphere, your top tier, your top 25, or however different people do their database. So we'll do drop offs, or when I had like tickets to Disney on Ice, I was like, and just go through your list of who's the last person that sent me somebody. I have Disney on Ice tickets. So that's a fun thing to do. So yeah, I just like making people happy. And
That's amazing.
And it just translates into real estate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have an energy and that's like infectious. And I can see why this isn't like hard work for you. It requires effort and commitment and an investment of time and energy and money, but it's not hard for you because you just so naturally connect with people. So I'm curious about you were a solo agent when you first got started, and then you decided to transition into more of a team model.
Right. So I actually was now, do you want me to tell you about the team leader of the market center part?
Well, more like what?
Because I had to do that. And then it was more of a recruiting position.
Yeah, exactly. So more like now you have a team that you're functioning with. So talk about the differences and even how you think about success, like in that framework.
Okay, so success in the team was really a couple of different things, was leverage, and that gave me the opportunity to have more time with my children and my family, setting boundaries and things like that, because I knew I had people in the background that I could just pass on to. So my admins, I've had a couple because people have moved and so on and so forth, but that your first hire, your transaction coordinator, or however you want to look at it, the person that deals with the paperwork. So that was the first thing I knew I needed. I was like, I belong in front of them doing the listing presentations and doing the buyer presentations. I need someone else to do the paperwork. So that was my first step. And then I decided to really build out the team structure like you've probably seen in different companies or different people who the way they're doing things. Some people do expansions, some people do referrals. I did mine as I did all the listings. My buyer's agent did all of the buyers. I didn't see a buyer for years. I would be there for their buyer consultation. So I never missed their buyer consultation because buyer consultations are very important in my business and my personal business. You're going to know what's happening. You're going to know what's going to go on, and you're going to stay very informed. So it was a requirement for my buyer's agent to do one of those, and I would be there. Then they would sign their agreement. Now we were doing buyer reps. This is in 2011, 13, 14. And of course, they weren't legally binding. They were a loyalty agreement. They were just an opportunity for us to be like, look, I'm going to be looking at houses every day on the hot sheet. I'm going to be calling for sale by owners that might be a house you like. And so I'm investing this time in. I just need you guys to do the same thing. So we did that. And then I was doing all the listings. It kind of started becoming referral based. And I didn't really have to lead generate. I was really more kind of chasing after the business because between the team members generating their own stuff and all listings would go to me and all buyers would go to her. And then we had the two in the office that were keeping us sane. Is that? And I had a bookkeeper that would come in every week and do my books and stuff because I know where I'm strong and I know where I'm weak. And if you focus on the areas you're strong, you can give the areas you're weak to people who are strong in those areas. And I saw that explode my business. I don't need to make a spreadsheet. I'm not good at it. I don't do well. I will spend 6 hours. Whereas if I spent 6 hours at the park where I go generally daily, if the weather's nice, I will meet 6 to 10 people out there and exchange phone numbers. So that's the way that I lead generate. But right now I don't have a team.
Okay.
So when I got sick, I did close the team down. I sent my whole team over to my favorite broker in the area who had been trying to recruit me all the years I was selling. And I was like, okay, y'all are going to go over to her because I trust her. So they went over to that company, and I never thought I would ever be back in real estate. And I'm going to be going and looking at houses this weekend, and I have a listing, and I haven't even started to try yet because I've been wanting so hard to make sure these agents know what's going on and how to do it correctly. It's the broker in me. So I always, even though I'm not a broker anymore, which I'll take the test again in 4 years, but you never stop being a broker. So that part is something that I guess not sets me apart, but when I'm doing business, I think I look at it from maybe a little bit of a different perspective. I don't run fast and loose with my business. I'm very structured. What else?
So will you create a new team again? Yeah.
Been asking me.
Just say no.
I'm like, let me get there, guys. They're like, when you do a team, I'm on it, right? And I'm like, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. I found out later recently that there was a girl that asked to be on my team back in the day when I had my own brokerage. And I think I told her at the time, like, we're not taking on any new agents at this time because I feed all these families, and later it was, oh, she didn't want me on her team. And I didn't realize that it was like they were wanting to be on my team. So this time around, I'm taking it very slow. There will be a lot of admins, a lot of showing assistants, a lot of things like that before I give away too much, because I really do enjoy. I do enjoy the negotiating and be getting it to active sale. Driving around and showing houses, I can train people to do that. So
Yeah. Well, I feel like our industry as a whole today, like, offers so many different and creative models for how to do real estate. So it's really been amazing to kind of watch the transformation. And so there are ways to kind of function like as a team without being a real team, which is a beautiful thing. And I think affords a lot of kind of freedom for people like you who have so much to offer and to give other agents, but maybe the way you structure it doesn't have to be the old model.
right. Right. So
So
now I just do it as, I mean, the term is area leader, but I'm basically a team leader for the people that are within a certain range of me. And we're on the phone all the time, every day, writing contracts, doing those types of things. And I
yeah,
love it. And then when real estate comes along, I have that too.
yeah. So tell us, I mean, just kind of more 30,000 foot view. What are you seeing? What are the trends that you're seeing in the real estate market, specifically where you are in your market? Like, what are you seeing from where you sit as you're getting back into the industry? I know you mentioned, this
Y'all,
year is looking a lot like 2009. So just
well,
kind of unpack that a little bit.
yes, I think, well, it's looking like 2010 now. So I'm seeing it shift and I'm like, hi, y'all are all shocked. This is exactly what it did. We are living the exact same reality pretty much. And
Hmm.
when people were talking about interest rates are 6%, I was like, isn't that what they always were? No, they were like 2.75. I was like, oh, I was sick
You
for
missed
that.
that window.
I missed that. What? I thought we were still like driving contracts over to the other person's office. So no, I'm kidding. We were using Dot Loop and stuff, different signing platforms, but it has changed so dramatically. I will tell you, our average sales price when I was at my peak was like, thank goodness, for our area was like 175. Now it's like 275. Now, those are still not big numbers because I was just at a conference and people were like, oh, average sales price is 2 million. I'm like, okay.
We're in
But
different markets.
yeah, our average sales price is that. And then, but what we're seeing is multiple offers.
Mhm.
And sorry, that was my phone. That is the part for me that is exciting because I enjoy that. And I also love, I mean, who doesn't love winning a bidding war for their clients, but also knowing how to construct a contract in a way that may or may not be the highest offer, but maybe the most solid offer, maybe the
Mhm.
most, just look better for the seller. So those are some things that we're seeing. I really am seeing I'm getting a lot of, how do I deal with this? I'm like, you give them 2 hours to respond. So using the strategies of multiple offers and stuff like that, like giving them 24 hours thing, it was cute. But if you talk to the other agent and they're like, I can get you an answer in 4 hours, you get that answer in 4 hours. I don't know y'all's state laws. We're an irrevocable state. So once you hand off that piece of paper, they can hold on to it as long as they want. They can call the people who showed the house and ask for other offers to come in. And so we're really aggressive with the way I train the
Yeah.
way we train them to do that. So, and then the same thing with sellers. If I have a showing on the property, I mean, what do I do afterwards? I call everybody that ever showed it, and I let them know that we had a showing. So these are just little
Mm.
strategic things that I try to do to help get the most for their property, also so they feel the most educated about the process while they're going through it, also not overwhelmed because
Mm.
they have we have breakdowns during our breakthroughs.
Yep.
I feel like we need a part 2 to this podcast.
I know, for
Paulina,
real.
I just really appreciate everything. You just dropped a bomb on me. I feel like I have so much to do. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really appreciate you. Your energy is definitely infectious, like Kristen said. And thank you just so much for being here. And we're glad you're healthy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. I look forward to getting to know you better.
I know, likewise.
Awesome. All right, you'll have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Momentum in Real Estate. We hope you found valuable insights and strategies to propel your real estate journey forward.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to deliver content that resonates with you. Remember, success in real estate is about continuous learning, growth, and serving others. Keep that momentum going and watch your business thrive.
Until next time, keep pushing forward and bringing your real estate dreams to life.
This is Corey Wall
and Kristen James signing off from Momentum in Real Estate.